When Daniel met Emma, he wasn't looking for love. Not really. He was tired of relationships that burned fast and faded faster, of people who mistook attention for affection. He told himself he wanted peace, but secretly he wondered if peace was just another word for loneliness. Then Emma walked into his life, quietly, almost unnoticed. She wasn't flashy or dramatic. She didn't dominate the room. Yet something about her presence drew people in. She carried herself with a kind of calm confidence that Daniel couldn't quite define at first. Over time, he realized that what made Emma special wasn't luck or charm. It was habit, the little ways she lived each day that made her not just someone to love, but someone to build a life with. 1. The habit of self-respect. Emma respected herself, and that changed everything. When Daniel asked her out the first time, she said, "I'd love to, but I have my Saturday pottery class. Can we make it Sunday instead?" It wasn't a brush off. It was balance. She had her own life, her own passions, her own priorities, and she protected them without apology. Daniel found that incredibly attractive. A woman who respects herself teaches the world how to treat her. She doesn't seek validation, she radiates it. That habit set the tone for everything that followed. Emma's self-respect gave Daniel room to grow his own. Emma kept a small white journal on her nightstand. Every night before bed, she'd write down 3 things she was grateful for. Sometimes they were simple. The coffee was perfect today. Sometimes profound. Mom's test results came back clear. Daniel teased her at first. "You actually do that every night?" She smiled. "Every night. Gratitude is how I remind myself that life is already enough." Over time, Daniel caught the habit. They started sharing their lists out loud, during dinner, on long drives, before falling asleep. Gratitude turned their relationship into something luminous, something grounded in everyday joy instead of endless wanting. Daniel had always been a bit closed off. He carried old hurts, family expectations, failures he never voiced. When he did open up, most people tried to fix him. Emma didn't. She just listened, not with pity, not with impatience. She gave silence that felt safe. When she finally spoke, her words didn't tell him what to do, they told him he was heard. That was new. That was healing. It was through her habit of gentle listening that Daniel learned the rarest kind of love. The kind that doesn't try to change you, only see you. Emma was endlessly curious. She read history books, watched documentaries, took online courses for fun. One week she was into gardening, the next, photography. "I just like knowing how things work," she said once, laughing. She wasn't chasing credentials, she was feeding her soul. That love of learning kept her mind alive, her conversations interesting, and her perspective open. Daniel found himself changing too. They started cooking new cuisines together, planning hiking trips, signing up for community workshops. Being with her felt like growing, not just existing. A relationship with a learner never stagnates, it evolves. Emma didn't believe in silent wars. If something bothered her, she said it, calmly, clearly, without venom. "I felt hurt when you canceled dinner last minute," she'd say, not angry, just disappointed. Daniel had never met someone who could express pain without blame. It was disarming, even humbling. Their arguments were honest but kind, and because of that, they never lingered. One night he told her, "You fight like someone who actually wants to stay." She smiled softly. "That's the only way I know how." Emma's kindness wasn't selective. She greeted the janitor at her office with the same warmth she gave her boss. She kept snacks in her car for the homeless. She said thank you, to waiters, to baristas, to Uber drivers. Daniel once watched her rescue a soaked kitten from under a car during a storm, drenched but grinning. "No one deserves to be left out in the rain," she said, wrapping it in her scarf. Kindness wasn't her act, it was her instinct. And Daniel realized that how someone treats strangers says everything about how they'll treat you when the honeymoon glow fades. Emma wasn't rich, but she was smart. She budgeted carefully, tracked her expenses, and saved without being stingy. She once told Daniel, "Money doesn't buy happiness, but it can buy peace, and I value peace." She didn't chase luxury or trends. She valued stability and independence. When they started planning their future together, her sense of financial clarity made Daniel feel secure. A woman who's wise with money isn't materialistic, she's practical. She understands that love needs both warmth and structure to survive. Emma respected her body the same way she respected her mind. She jogged 3 times a week, practiced yoga on Sundays, and tried to eat clean without being obsessive. "I'm not chasing a size," she'd say. "I'm chasing energy." When Daniel caught a bad flu one winter, she brought him soup, vitamins, and gentle scolding. "You can't keep skipping meals and sleeping 4 hours a night," she said. Your body's not a machine, it's your home. She wasn't controlling. She was nurturing. And slowly, Daniel began mirroring her habits, drinking more water, sleeping better, valuing his health. Because when someone treats life like a gift, it's contagious. Emma wasn't perfect. No one is. There were times she lost her temper or misread situations. But she had this remarkable ability to apologize first, and forgive quickly. She didn't hold grudges or weaponize mistakes. Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending nothing happened, she once told him. It means choosing to move forward anyway. That habit made their love resilient. They learned to bend without breaking. And Daniel realized that forgiveness is what keeps love from suffocating under the weight of pride. One summer night, they sat on the hood of Daniel's car by the beach, the ocean breathing softly around them. "Where do you see us in 10 years?" she asked. He shrugged. "I've never thought that far ahead." "Then let's dream it," she said. "Let's build something worth becoming." They talked for hours, about travel, a little house with a garden, maybe kids someday, maybe a dog first. Those conversations became their favorite ritual. Dreaming together gave their love direction. It turned emotion into vision. Years later, long after their wedding, Daniel often thought about the 10 habits that built their life. None were flashy. None belonged in a movie. But each one, self-respect, gratitude, kindness, curiosity, was a thread. And together, those threads wove something unbreakable. When friends asked him, "How did you know she was the one?" he didn't talk about sparks or destiny. He said, "I watched her habits." Love starts as emotion, but it lasts because of rhythm. And her rhythm made me better every day.